Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks, here to bring you your weekly market update right before we head off to Pro Tour, of all things. It has been a crazy week. I don't know how much you watch markets, you know I do. Crypto has seen a crazy crash, which is excellent in my opinion, and I'll talk a little bit about why in a minute. Equities have seen many days down, which is also excellent in my opinion. And as does tend to be the case, it looks like the cards are following. Now, that said, I was a little bit surprised at how much they followed. They actually didn't follow as much as I expected. Looking at the heat map here, you can see we have six cooled off assets, as it were, in the sealed product of Flesh and Blood. Sorry, there's one down here. This is and one's a pre-order, which is where it should be, down and low, not trying to get crazy before it's released, uprising release. So your pre-orders are now at a very reasonable price of 109 if you want to try to get a pre-order in. Now, granted, with pre-orders, there's the risk that the vendor, if it's like through TCG Player, which is where these prices come from, cancels on you. Like, say the prices go back up before the release. They cancel on you, say, we didn't get our allotment, and there's not much you can do about it. Almost no recourse in that case. So I would just say be careful pre-ordering from some place like TCG Player. Stick with known entities that, will guarantee their price, that sort of thing. Kind of hard to do it. I honestly, pre-ordering is risky, so I tend to advise against it, as you guys have known. That said, none of this is financial advice. I'm a guy on the internet that's slinging cardboard, so don't listen to me for financial advice. So let's talk about my thoughts on this market. So this is excellent times. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the saying, when there's blood in the streets is when you want to go in deep, essentially, invest as heavily as you can. We are approaching the phase of blood in the streets. I think this morning was the first, the first bloodletting, if you will, at least in the crypto space. It was definitely cooling off and getting risky, people getting nervous, and fright and flight came hard and heavy early this morning. We're talking 20 to 30% drop across the entire space. Which is, again, as I said, excellent. Most people in these times, they see their balance go down, they see the percentage of their portfolio decrease, they freak out, they panic, they run for the streets. The last time this happened, and we're not quite at the same level as that time, was March 2020 with the pandemic. And this, again, I'm talking about crypto because this is where I focused most of my time and energy back then, but at that point I was 5x short. So I basically hedged my entire crypto portfolio against an inevitable decline, because with the pandemic spreading, it was a slow burn. We knew it was coming. We knew there was going to be significant issues from it, and lockdowns, etc., were coming, and so it wasn't that hard to predict that we'd see a crash. And so I went short 5x and hedged my entire crypto stack, and I didn't quite double it because my exit point was a little bit quicker than it should have been, but it worked. It worked fine. It kept my overall value in place. That said, we are at a point where it looks like we're approaching that, and this is a different market, different situation, so they never happen the same way twice. We are in a negative market overall. As you can see, most of these are red. So the cards are following that general trend, but they're not as extreme. I mean, we're not seeing 30% declines on these. Now, that's not to say cards aren't a lag, right? Because there's less liquidity. Perhaps next week we see double-digit declines across all of them. I don't know. I cannot predict the future. No one can. Anyone that tells you that it can is basically lying to you and trying to steal your money. So don't listen to them. What I can do is look at the data and make decisions based on what happens. In this case, I'm okay with this decline. Again, all the markets are down, so this seems like a very light decline by comparison, and it's worth keeping an eye on, see if it gets worse over the next week or two, and then keep an eye on the equity and crypto markets to see if they continue their drop. I suspect they will. Either way, when that happens, I think what's going to end up going on is we'll be in what's for crypto at least, was called a crypto winter. So a very, slow sideways, maybe slow uptrend, but mostly a slow sideways for the coming, months. Those are ideal times. In fact, those are the times where if you invest, you basically make the most money during the boring slog. The big bear market that was like 2 years, I think it was 14 and 15. That was one of the best return periods you could have invested in, because essentially just sat flat for years before picking up again. And then if you were investing during that boring time, especially if you DCA, regular buys every week, etc., then you got yourself in a strong position for when things went back up. I don't think cards work exactly the same way, because there's hype cycles, there's new and old stuff, etc. Supply runs out, things like that. It's a very different dynamic than crypto, and I'm relatively new to card markets, so I'm not going to speculate on what is the right thing to do, but I will say both Unhinged Magi and Rudy are saying buy stuff, and they're saying across markets, like, just buy. It is blood in the streets. It's time to buy regularly, consistently. Do not go all in. That was something they have both said. Do not dump all of your money into anything, right? Because you think it's the bottom, because then you're going to get punched in the face when there's more bottom to come. But if you slowly ladder in, every week, every 10% drop, whatever it is, slowly put a little bit in over the course of the next few months, because this doesn't turn around tomorrow, then you'll find yourself in a very strong position when the markets do come back eventually. And they will. They always do. At least, like I said, most of my experiences is crypto. Crypto always comes back. I think there's a website that tracks, like, Bitcoin is dead, how many times it's been declared dead. It's like something like 3,000 times. And every time it comes back higher than the last. So, for me, it's easy. The crypto markets are easy. I'm used to them. I've been doing them for over a decade now. And so that's kind of how this is. Just like, this is rote. This is like, oh, these are the best times. This is a fire sale. This is a perfect time to buy. That's the way I look at these. Cards I'm not as familiar with, so I can't say that I'm very confident that this is the time to buy. I'm not. I don't know exactly when, so I'm going to keep an eye on it. And as I do, and as I discover more, I will share it with you guys. Quick overviews. The ones that are cool are ARK Unlimited, Crew Unlimited, Mon Unlimited. By the box, I think the ARK one's probably the most interesting, and I'm going to keep a close eye on this and probably buy some, just because we know this Unlimited is out. Shops can't get it from distribution. It's just gone. Like, it's nowhere else to be seen. These ones, on the other hand, are not out, and WTR is not hard to find right now. So ARK does seem to be harder and harder to get every week, so having maybe another case of Unlimited sitting around is probably not the worst move. Again, I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm not going to make a move yet. I'll wait and see, because I suspect we'll see further declines, as everyone gets shaken out of markets across the board. So all risk-on assets are going to basically decline, and we'll see things like gold and bonds and maybe even Bitcoin at some point become more of a safe haven situation. But we'll see. Other ones that are notable: first edition Monarch is down 13%, so that's a big drop. Oh, and it is notable Crew is down 15%, but it's only $11. I guess this is down $20, but it's a first edition box. So first edition obviously has should have a bit of a premium. That's really low. It's worth keeping an eye on in a big drop like that. Hopefully there's another big drop, and then I'll jump in and buy some first edition Mon, because I'd love to get some for like dirt cheap. Still first edition, still has cold foils. It has its value there. And again, I don't think the game's going anywhere. It's a solid game. People love to play it, and people will eventually want, something that's in those boxes, I think. Crew first edition cases way down 12%. That's really big, because Crew is super popular, and a first edition case has a premium. We're getting to a point where it's really low. So another one I want to keep an eye on. Wanted to point out Uprising has dropped. That's partially market, I think partially people not pre-ordering, which is the wise thing to do. 109 is a killer price for a box of Uprising. I think, I guess MSRP is 99, so I guess that's still above what it should be, MSRP. I was thinking history because that's a 140 MSRP, right? So I was thinking that was a discount, but it's not. That's $99, is I believe, or is it 110 for this set because prices went up? I don't know. I'm curious to see if prices come down on any of these products as these markets cool off, because honestly, are people going to buy them at an inflated price while economy is like collapsing and recession hits? I don't know. We'll see. But it's worth keeping an eye on. Very interesting. Everyone's like, everything needs to be inflated because everything costs more, but then no one's going to be there, and it actually causes a recession. That's how these things happen. So inflating your prices to try to catch that extra percentage point of profit tends to hurt. And we know these organizations have had record profits for 2 years. It's not like they were hit hard and inflation was necessary to pass on to the customers so they could survive. Hasbro, etc., we know had record profits. So greed eventually crashes the economy, as usual. Just wanted to talk about this very quickly. This background picture here, this was the listing prices last week. So you see we had sales all the way up to 180, as you can see, and as predicted. The prices have come down post-release. It is 118. I think I saw it as low as like 109. So it's worth noting that waiting for release to happen, don't buy in the pre-order phase, especially on something they say is not collectible. Well worth it. I think the card prices are starting to get into reasonable ranges, so a little bit lower than their Black Border, cousins essentially. I think that's still working out. I'll keep an eye on that and let you know probably next week, because I want to see the market kind of get full of cards, because there's still some that the legendaries are rare, so there's not that many on the market yet. So as that happens, we'll talk about that in coming weeks. Go through the charts. They are somewhat interesting. So WTR decline, pretty solid downward trend overall. We were hoping for an upward channel here with the zigzag pattern. It did not. It fell out. I think that's primarily markets. Markets as a whole are down. Flat on the box, the first edition box. This is. Oh, I'm sorry. This is unlimited. Yeah, unlimited case and box. So the cases are now giving a small opportunity, $2 opportunity for arbitrage. Not really worth doing, but steady state on the price itself. So, oops. ARK, as we said before, ARK is on decline. Again, we were looking at kind of an uptrend before, and I would say this broke that uptrend. So keep an eye to see where the bottom is. Here's the camel hump thing. Again, hoping for a zigzag up. Did not happen. Actually declined rather quickly. No opportunity yet. And it looks like it's staying kind of higher. So the premium's actually increasing. Crew, not much change here. There's unlimited. Very big change here, and the ARB opportunity is dead. 72, 79, not a huge difference, but interesting to see how that goes. Uptrend is just dead. Like, I mean, this was a potential of can we get back up and keep that rising? No. The answer is no. We know now. Monarch, same thing. This is still kind of in its general uptrend. I imagine this will drop off to next week. Just because that's what we've been seeing for the cases. And then, of course, this was kind of flat with a little volatility. Now it's, I mean, technically, I guess it's still flat because this is the midpoint with this low. But I don't know. 59 is really low. I don't know. We'll have to see if this recovers. I'm not sure how low it can actually go. Because this will be the first time Fab has been tested in the markets. I know they launched during the pandemic, but they didn't launch with product on the market in mass liquidity during the crash of March 2020. So I don't know how low the box prices end up going. Let's see here. No ARB opportunity on Tales of Aria. Prices are pretty steady state, which I thought was interesting. Everfest, there's no data. Yeah. I'll get that one in there soon. Oh, that for unlimited. No, I won't get that in there soon. I'll get that in there when it comes out. WTR is nothing's changed. These are the first edition. Obviously, ARK, it's the same thing. Nothing's changed because there's just no liquidity. There's no transactions. Again, you can get better prices than on TCG Player if you look on Discords and Facebook groups. Although I have not seen a transaction even on those in a long time. I'm actually kind of curious if anyone knows, like, what does an ARK sealed case go for? What is it? I mean, WTR, I don't think there's any sealed cases left or any available, so that's a different story. Crew, precipitous drop off, pretty notable because we were flat and now it's just like boom, way down. So I want to see where that bottoms out. I don't act on the first move. I wait and see. If you look at the curves around like collector edition boxes in Magic, they have this hump every time hump, and then it goes down like crazy fast, and then it slowly turns up. It's on that slow turn up. I wait for it to go sideways, and even sometimes I'll wait for it to go back up a little bit before I do my purchase. And that's where I'll buy. I'll miss the bottom, but at least I'm in the lows, right? This, I'm going to wait the same way if I'm going to end up buying another case of Crew First Edition, which I think is a reasonable investment. Everyone loves Crew. It has all the classes up to that point, and it has cold foils and stuff, so it's a very reasonable buy if you can get a good price. And so I'm going to wait for this to kind of go sideways a little bit and then decide if it's time to move. Boxes versus cases. Cases arbitrage are coming down. I'm sorry, the case is divided by 4. So arbitrage opportunity or more market alignment is better. The case premium is disappearing right now. That's another key factor to take a look at, because when that disappears, that might be a good opportunity to buy just to crack it and sell the boxes. Because this is a big enough price range that we can see an actual gain per box with shipping and all that. So that one is the most interesting to me right now. Downward trend, we'll see how it goes. This is still within volatility range, so technically in a closing channel. We'll just leave that there for now. Arbitrage has disappeared. It was barely there before, but now the premium's actually massive, so I actually kind of do expect this price to go down because the premium's so big. And in markets that are uncertain, risk off, etc., premiums tend to evaporate. So the premium on sealed case would probably evaporate. We'll see how that actually goes. Again, I don't have deep experience in these markets, so I don't want to say that's a hard and fast rule, but it's my expectation. Tales of Aria is actually climbing. What the heck? I guess people getting ready for Starvo in Pro Tour, which it starts tomorrow. I don't know. I did see this on the heat map, and I was like, why? Why is Tails going up? But it is. Okay, that's fine. I have plenty. I like it. It can keep going up. Arb Opportunity is never got there and is vanishing even more. Premium is expanding. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe premiums expand in weird times because people want sealed cases. I don't know. Everfest is still on its kind of nice Nike curve, right? You got to take the middle point here, so kind of like, but it's up and flat, and it's slightly up. Not bad when everything else is burning to the ground. That said, we don't really know what the hard bottom is for a brand new case that's post Monarch print runs. I imagine it's pretty low because of the number expected, but we'll see. And then the ARB Opportunity is disappearing. Sorry, the dotted line is the case. So that has vanished. Not that it was ever really much. It was only $1. So that is it for the markets. I hope you guys are having a good day. Whatever you do, do not panic. The people that lose the most money are the ones who panic sell because they see a negative number in their portfolio. If you see a negative number, it's already too late. So selling now is just losing money. If you have liquidity and you can hold on to things, hold on through the bear market, add to your position to lower your average cost per unit, and get good deals, and then hold through it. And then when things go back up, you tend to be in a very solid place. I did some moves in my crypto portfolio before all this went off. It was clear it was happening. I managed to lock in profits. In this case, it was mostly on Ethereum that I had gotten during the last cycle. I didn't sell any Bitcoin because I actually like that as a hedge. I think it's a more solid and safe position to be in, so I maintain that. And so I'm in a strong cash position because I expect to be buying in the next few months, and then everything else I kind of just balanced towards the least risk I could, which in crypto is like Bitcoin, Ethereum, heavyweight, and then low alt, under 5% in my portfolio, and then Ethereum's like at 10% or maybe a little bit more. And then Cash is like 40% now, maybe more. Cash that's deployable into crypto, so like USDC and stable coins that are actually stable. I won't get too much into that because it's in a crypto channel, but yeah. And then looking at other markets, equities, there's a bunch of buys, but I still think we have some hurt. Equities will probably recover faster than crypto. And then assuming cards are a lagging indicator and they continue to go down next few weeks, like we said we might see, then I will expect that they come up slower too. The one exception to that is if there's some sort of quantitative easing or checks handed out, if this gets real bad, that sort of thing would make card markets probably act faster. Maybe crypto as well, because I think people dump money into crypto with those checks. They definitely did into cards, so you might see something like that if we get stimulus checks. I don't know that we'll get stimulus checks. It doesn't really make sense. The whole point of this is to unwind the overheated market. So hopefully we don't get too much pain. Hopefully this is a very short dip, but do expect that it's not going to be, you're not going to miss it, okay? You're not going to miss it. This will last for a while. So don't rush in, a little bit at a time. DCA, say you have 10K and you want to do 1,000 a month for 10 weeks or 10 months, right? That's most of a year. That's not a bad plan. Recessions tend to last, 6 months to 2 years sort of time frame, occasionally longer. There's always lagging or trailing changes in the economy, so think about that. But depending on the market, etc., it is a good time to start buying nice and steady, slow, and into the market a little bit at a time. Watch yourself get punched in the face, like Rudy said. You put money in, you see it's down the next day. That's okay. That's what it's supposed to feel like. Sucks. Buy some more the next week. Keep doing it consistently with discipline. If you don't like the red number, don't look at the red number. Just keep doing it over the next, say, 6 months, and you'll find yourself in a very solid position. Obviously, do your own research. Obviously, this is not financial advice. Obviously, I am a dude slinging cardboard on the internet. So don't take what I say as gospel. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a lovely day, and I hope some of you are Pro Tour. It'd be great if we see you or meet you. Tommy will be there. He and his lovely wife will both be in cosplay, so they should be easy to spot. He's going as Bravo. She is going as Lexi. They will be in the competition, so come up, say hi. I don't know if anyone wants like his signature or anything on something. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But either way, we will be there, and I hope you guys are having fun, cracking packs, playing games. This is about the card game, right? Like, let's have some fun. Let's play some games. All right. Anyways, hope you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you next time.